Right now it's about 3:02, so we have a few more minutes before the solar eclipse fully happens. But I had to go get my potatoes because we're gonna be planting potatoes today. So I'm so excited to be planting my potatoes on a new moon during a solar eclipse. I mean, this is like gonna make magical potatoes, right? Okay, unveiling the tarp for the first time. How long have we had this down? 2 months. So 8 weeks. Look at that stark difference between the grass. Now we're gonna have to kind of mow this down and maybe do like a cardboard weed barrier path right there, but this is gonna be where we're planting some potatoes. This was another company I ordered from called Mythic Farms. I was really happy with these seed potatoes. I was happy with So True seeds too. Theirs were a little rougher, a little more wrinkled. These were like very hard when we got them. Great seed potatoes. Everything's organic. They had really good pricing on their potatoes too. I'm just really happy with how these look. So these are the Kennebec, which I'm going to continue planting. I did all my So True seed potatoes, and then I'm going to continue planting the Kennebec right here. So it's looking good. Lots of fat little earthworms. So he is broad forking. I am trenching to put these 6 to 8 inches deep into the ground, and then we will mound them up over when I plant them tonight. What'd you catch?
I think we're doing it. Worms. All in
So
here.
many. What's that middle thing? Oh, the broad fork.
Bunch of worms.
Amazing.
This is where the chicken coop was.
Yep.
They're all in here.
It's amazing. Yeah, this is gonna be a great spot. See them all over the place. Here's a little bit of progress. We've been working hard. I got my first row all potatoed. I'm still digging the second row. Today's a glorious day, and having the shade from the eclipse was actually really nice. The soil here is very rich. We do tend to have more of a clay soil. You can kind of see that it's a little more clay, but it used to be an old horse farm, so this pasture is just horse manured. So it's just really rich, good soil, and we've been dying to plant something here. So I'm excited for this tarped area for the first time this year to get some things in the ground. See how they do. It's a little close to some tree cover, so sometimes it's more shaded over here. We'll see how it does this year and adjust. This area right here, specifically right here, is the runoff from these hills. So this is very marshy. So this area we couldn't do the tarp. We put it way over here to make sure that it was away from where the moisture was. Yeah, it's looking good. We had a little bit of an accident. Wanted to show you that my toe is intact. Oh my gosh. I went straight through my boot with the broad fork. Guys, this is it's a very sharp tool. I didn't mean to, honey. I just was like putting it into the ground and then stepping on it, and then went straight through my boot. Oh dear. R.I.P. some of my favorite boots. I'll have to get some more. See how he's mounding you kind of want to mound them. They're already about 5 to 6 inches into the ground. And then with the mounding, they end up being about 6 to 8 inches underground. So we will mound them, and then tomorrow I'll go get straw and top all of this with straw. So that's just something we've done all last year, and it worked really well for us. So just another tip for something I haven't gone over yet. You want to space your potatoes, the rows, by 3 feet. So you can see mine are about 3 feet. And then you want to dig your trench about 4 to 6 inches deep. You can see mine. You want to plant the potato with the eye. This is the eye. Potato right there. You want to make sure that is sticking up, because that's the plant is going to grow up. That's going to be the base. You just stick it in there. You want to make sure that the soil, when you're going to go plant it and cover it, is very loose. So we're just kind of taking the hoe. I mean, I'm doing this with my hand right now, but just like really making sure it's loose and, you know, soft for the potato to keep growing more potatoes around it. So these two, see how they're mounded up? So if I plant these 4 to 6 inches deep, the final height is about 8 inches, which is great. So 6 to 8 inches is kind of how deep you want them. And then you top with straw for the rest, just to, you know, until you start seeing them coming through the soil, and then you keep mounding soil and straw around them. So it's looking good. We have about 120 potatoes at the end of this in all of these, and this is about a 40-foot by, oh, let's see, 40 by 6, so 120 potato starts, which the yield for that is going to be a lot more than that, obviously, but I'm growing more to keep some for my starts so I can replant some of these potatoes in August. So stay tuned for that, but it's looking really good. We're almost done. One thing that I did want to touch on is the lunar calendar method of planting. This is something I learned about in the Foxfire book, volume 1. And if you haven't heard of the Foxfire books, they're absolutely incredible. Let me flip it around and show you the chapter I'm talking about. So this was the book I was referring to. I have absolutely loved these books. I actually have, I'm in my kitchen right now. I have a whole collection of them over here. I want to get more, but I don't have the whole set yet. But a professor and his students interviewed some people in deep Appalachia for this entire book, and you can see I opened it to one of the interviews talking about potatoes. On the dark of the moon or the old moon, that's the last quarter, they make less vine. And on the light of the moon, when the moon is getting bigger, they make more vine and less potatoes. So I just think it's so beautiful that there are things in nature that tell us when to plant things. And this is something that I'm following for this time for our potato planting, and I got inspiration from this book. So basically, when the moon is getting bigger, you want to plant things that are growing up out of the ground, and when the moon is getting smaller, back towards a new moon in the last quarter, you want to plant things with the energy going down into the soil. So I just found it really fascinating, and I wanted to share that with you guys. All in all, it's been a great day. I'm so excited to see these potatoes sprout up. Honestly, I have a cold, if you can't tell by my voice. It's a little bit of hard work. Thankfully, I had Ian to help me dig these trenches because I feel like I can't breathe, but we did it, and I desperately wanted to do these on a full, like a new moon. That was really important to me, and I know I explained some of that in the earlier parts of this episode, but I just think it's so cool that we can use the lunar phases to garden and to produce maximum potential for all of our plants. So after this new moon, it will be waxing. The moon will be waxing. So you want to plant things with energy up. Peas, tomatoes, all the things that are coming above the ground. And then after the full moon, when it's waning and the energy is going back down into the ground, you want to plant things like turnips, carrots, root vegetables, things that grow underneath the soil. So just a little tip for you. Hope all of this was helpful. Subscribe if you like this video, and thanks for following along.